Hello, and welcome back. It only took me about a year to film this. Excuse the background noise if you hear the washing machine. I'm actually washing some diapers, so can't help that. Hey guys, and welcome back. A few of you actually have asked me to make a video talking about my cloth diapering experience and how I use them and what they're all about, so I thought that I'd finally sit down a year later and talk about that. So I'm going to talk about a lot in this video, so it might end up being a 2-part to 3-part video, and if you hear a baby crying, Felix is right next to me, so that's always nice. I will start off by saying that cloth diapering is a lot of trial and error, so you will not get it on the first try. Same with wash routine, fit, everything is trial and error. It took me about, I'm gonna say 5 months to figure out a good routine and what worked for us. Your cloth diapers will tell you what is wrong if you have something wrong. So whether it's your diapers are leaking and his clothes are all wet, or you get them out of the wash and they stink still like ammonia. There's different ways of your diapers telling you what's wrong, and then you just have to take a look at it, see what's wrong, and then find the solution to fit your routine. I wanted to start out by talking about the different types of cloth diapers. Now I have a majority of the different styles. I'm going to kind of go through all the different types and then tell you guys what type worked best for us and then why. One of the first kinds are called all-in-ones. So these, you would think it's like all-in-one, it's all that you need, you don't have to worry about anything else. Wrong. I'm not sure really why they call them that. So I have 2 different kinds here. I have a newborn size and a regular size. So an all-in-one consists of the waterproof layer on the outside, go Broncos, and then a sewn in insert on the inside. Now this one actually also has a pocket so that you can put another insert inside of it for extra absorbency. But just because I feel like this one sewn in insert is not enough. This is a one size, so it has all the different sizing snaps that you need, and honestly, like I said, I don't know why they call it an all-in-one, because you still have to add inserts for absorbency. So that's the first type, all-in-one. This is the newborn one. This one actually also does have a pocket to add a newborn sized insert, and then it has the sewn in insert as well. The next type I'm going to talk to you about is a cover. So this is literally just the waterproof layer. As you can see, there's no diaper material on the inside at all. This just goes over what we like to call pre-folds, or it can go over what I use, and it is a fitted diaper. So this is a fitted. Now these are newborn size. I don't have any of the regular one size in this type. So this is a fitted diaper. It's all cloth. So you could not use this by itself. It also has 2 extra little inserts just because this is a newborn, and newborns tend to pee a lot. Cloth on the outside because it'll all absorb. It'll all soak in and absorb. And then this goes inside of the cover. So then you put both layers on. A lot of people like this style diaper just because then they don't have to change the entire thing. You just take this part out, and then this is still clean. You kind of just wipe it with wipe, and then you stick another one in, or another pre-fold. Pre-fold is kind of like the old-fashioned style cloth diaper. Big napkin, you just wrap around the baby, right? A lot of people like these just for convenience. Another style, I believe that this one is that style. I never really understood the whole terminology, but there's another style called an all-in-two. So I'm assuming this is the all-in-two because it has the sewn-in insert and then an extra layered insert on top. I'm not sure how to describe that. Lastly are my favorite, and the diapers that we chose to use for our boys, are pocket diapers. Now these, there's a couple different kinds. So the ones that we primarily use are just a standard waterproof cover. It has a liner because then there's a pocket to then put your insert inside. Pretty self-explanatory, and then the whole thing just goes in the wash. So after it gets dirty, pee or poop, I take the insert out and just throw them in my pail, and then come wash day, it all just goes in the wash. There are some all-in-one diapers, like this newborn one for example, that do not have a pocket. They just have the sewn-in insert, but then there's a tiny little insert that just kind of lays on top. These are okay, but then this kind of tends to move around a lot too, so this is only for the extra absorbency. You're really changing newborns so often that the extra absorbency isn't really needed because you're going to change them before they wet out of this. We chose the pockets just because of the convenience. I didn't want to have to deal with wrapping the baby in the, you know, bigger size napkin. I didn't want to have to worry about just like wiping anything clean. I just thought that taking the inserts out and throwing it in the pail and then throwing it in the wash was the easiest choice for our family. And the pockets tend to be a lot cheaper than the other styles of diapers. All-in-ones tend to be the most expensive. Pockets are the cheapest, and then the covers are cheap, but then you have to buy the inside part to it, whether you buy it fitted or you buy the pre-fold, and then it ends up kind of just being the same price round in the middle of a pocket and an all-in-one. Now, if that wasn't confusing enough with all the different types of diapers, there are different types of inserts because there's like a different like absorbency pattern. So the ones that we use primarily are charcoal bamboo microfibers. So there's a charcoal bamboo layer on the outside and then microfiber on the inside. I have ones with 5 layers and ones with 4 layers. I have bamboo hemp, which these are probably my most favorite inserts of all because they hold the most amount of pee. So there's a chart. I wish I could remember the chart. The bamboo inserts are fast absorbing. So baby pees, it's going to go straight through and it's not going to hold a whole lot. What I do is I pair the bamboo with the hemp and bamboo because when a baby pees on the microfiber, it's going to go straight through and then you're probably going to leak out of your diaper because, like I said, it's fast absorbing. So it's going to suck it all in really quickly. But then you want an insert at the bottom to hold it all. So these are technically slow absorbing. That's why you don't want them on the top, you want them on the bottom, but they hold the most amount. I layer it with bamboo on the top, hemp on the bottom. Cotton is another one that is a slow absorbing, but it holds the most amount. So cotton and hemp and terry cloth, those are the ones that you want on the bottom. I get a lot of questions on where I get my cloth diapers, and there's a couple websites. Some I get on Amazon. You can get a couple packs on Amazon for a decent amount actually. One of the primary brands that I would get on Amazon is called Mama Koala, but they are also not my favorite. I use them, but they're not my favorite. The primary websites that I use are Alba Baby and Eco Cloth just because they have the cutest designs. I'll be honest, I started cloth diapering because I saw a bunch of cute designs and babies looked super cute in the cloth diapers, so besides the fact that it would save us a lot of money in the long run, I wanted the cute little buttons. Next, I'll move on to washing routine. Now, like I said, it's all trial and error. So the first time you wash may not be, you know, the perfect routine. It took me a few washes just to get it down, and then I had some stink issues, and I had to switch up my whole entire routine. You cannot just do one wash. Honestly, the diapers hold the pee and the stink for a couple days, so you do have to wash them. I will explain my routine, but my routine may not work best for you in your wash machine. I have a normal, I think it's a Whirlpool wash machine, like it's a very low end, nothing special wash machine. I know some of the bigger, higher end wash machines have like a sanitize option or like a heavy soil type option, and those may work better for you, but what works best for me is putting all the diapers in one time, and I will fill the soap cup up to, now, soap is another thing. Before I get into that, let's talk soap first. So I have used actually an abundance of different soaps. I have used Tide, I have used All Free and Clear, is that what it is? Or All in All? I'm not sure. The All One, the blue one. I've used Arm & Hammer, I've used Up and Up, I've used, not Up and Up, sorry, Hello Bella. I've used basically them all. I'm not, you know, particular to a certain brand of detergent. When it comes to detergent, one thing you do want to shy away from is using detergents with fabric softener. You never want to put fabric softener on your diapers. This will affect the longevity of your diapers. As you guys may know, every cup that you dispense your detergent into is different size depending on what brand you get. When I first started out, everybody was telling me, you know, fill it like to the 3, to the 4, like a full cup of detergent. I'm like, okay. And at this time I was using the Arm & Hammer, which has a fairly decent sized cup. And I ended up actually using way too much soap, so my diapers were retaining the soap instead of washing the soap fully out, and then Fletcher ended up getting some rashes. So that was problem number 1 that I had with cloth diapering. I had to make sure that I washed out all the soap. So I started using a different amount of soap within that cup, and I ended up doing an extra rinse at the end. That ended up kind of evening itself out. I personally, on my washing machine, run my diapers through a normal wash twice, once with soap, and then sometimes I'll add a little bit more soap in the second wash depending on how many there are, how dirty I think they are, and then I will do an extra rinse cycle to finish it all off. When I add the soap, right now I'm currently using Tide. Tide has one of the bigger sized cups, and on the side of the cup it has a little, singular raising the bar type level of how much detergent you need to use. I will normally fill it up to around a 2. I don't go over a 2 because that ends up being too much soap. The way you can tell that it is too much soap is if, I'm not sure how you would know if you have a top loader, but I have a front facing or a front load wash machine, so when the wash is finished, sometimes I can see bubbles still at the base, like when you open the door. So that's how I knew that I either need to run it again with no more soap and just extra rinse it, or if I need to add a little bit more soap, or if I've used too much. Like I said, trial and error. It all depends on how much soap I see at the bottom, whether I've used a little bit too much and I've gone over the 2, or if I've used a little bit too little and I've gone under the 2. So I will sum up my entire routine. I throw everything in the wash machine. That is diapers and pail bag and all. I will then fill the cup up to about a 2, no more than a 2, and then I will dump it in and I'll start it. I only started on a normal wash just because the hot water will kind of deteriorate your diapers over time, so I only really use a normal cycle once, and then the extra rinse is kind of like a warm to cool temperature water. Drying your diapers. So a lot of people actually will hang dry their diapers because the temperatures of your dryer will deteriorate the waterproof layer again, and it'll almost begin to melt it, and then it won't be as effective. I personally still use the dryer. I haven't had any issues, and I've been using them for about 1.5 years and drying them in the dryer for about 1.5 years. I personally don't have the space in my house or outside to dry them, to hang dry them, so I just don't do that. But you're totally more than welcome to hang dry them if you have the space. I get the question all the time, what happens when a baby poops? Okay, well, they poop, you wipe them up. We still use disposable wipes. Haven't got Andrew to switch to cloth wipes yet. That would honestly make everything easier, but we haven't. We just throw our wipes in the trash. We were using our diaper genie for the longest time still, and just tossing the wipes in there, and that's good to go. So then you take your poopy diaper. We've actually purchased a diaper sprayer. So these are specifically made for cloth diapering. These will attach to your toilet at the base, and then it has its metal tube, and then it comes up, and then it'll hook onto your tank, and you just lift it off and you spray it off. And what I've heard a lot of people do is a dunk and swish method. That did not work for me. I was not sticking my hand in the toilet with a bunch of poop. Yes, my hands are washable, but that just sounded gross to me. We found that the diaper sprayer was the easiest and most convenient for us, considering our toilet did have the hookup. Some toilets do not have the hookup. You can purchase the sprayer on Amazon. There's a couple different cloth diapering websites that will sell it, but we just got ours on Amazon. It was probably $20. The very first time we used the sprayer, we didn't have a shield or a guard or anything. We just held the diaper and then we sprayed it. That did not work out. The diaper went all over the place because you cannot control the pressure of the sprayer, and it just kind of sprayed poop all over the bathroom, and that was not a fun experience. I have seen on Amazon something called a Spray Pal, and honestly what it reminds me of is a flimsy 3-ring binder folded around, and then it has a clipboard top that you can clip the diaper to, and then you put that in the tray and you spray it. I was not about to spend money on that. What we actually ended up doing was buying a 5-gallon bucket and cutting the bottom out of the bucket, and that actually fits perfectly into your toilet. Then we bought a couple just clamps, or you can use clothespins or any type of, clip, and you just clip the diaper to that, and you set the bucket in the toilet, and then you spray it on the bucket. And it actually prevents their, poop from going everywhere. If there's any splashback, it actually ends up splashing the front of the bucket, unlike the other one that is very small, and I still feel like the water would go everywhere and poop would just be everywhere, and I'm not about that way. When baby pees, some people will rinse them out. I personally don't. I just kind of throw it all in the pail, and that just ends up working for us, but you can, totally rinse it out if you want. Another thing I'm going to touch on is how often I wash the diapers. I will wash every 2 to 3 days depending on how many diapers I go through. So currently I'm just cloth diapering Fletcher because I didn't feel the need to buy a whole stash of newborns, just because Felix might grow out of them sooner rather than later. 3 days is usually my max. If I end up not using a whole bunch, I will still just end up washing them, and then I'll stick a towel in the wash with them just so that I, bulk up the load a little bit, so that I'm not rinsing or like washing them on such a small load, because if there's too many diapers, they won't all get clean. If there's too little diapers, they'll, soak up all the soap, and again, trial and error. Currently, right now, I have a good amount of diapers. Again, like I've touched on earlier, I bought them for the designs and for the cute little styles. So really, you don't need as many as I have. But I will have 2 babies eventually in the same size diaper, so the amount that I have is reasonable at that point in time. Currently, I probably have around 75 to 80, might be a little bit more. I hope it's not more than that. I haven't counted, but I have a good amount. If you are only cloth diapering 1 baby, you really only need about 30, because that will get you to last, the every 2 to 3 days washing them. I think I've covered all the basics. So if you have questions that I didn't answer in either part 1 or 2, part 2 will be a Q&A, just frequently asked questions that I've gotten. Please feel free to leave them in the comments below.